Masan, Toxin, I
Huh?
like how one fellow came into the call, Masan, saying only 2 games and still here. Even if you sleep and you get up, Masan, you'll be seeing Toxin online today.
The things you have to do to get to leaderboard.
This is not good for my health.
Voice clips that you heard are from some of the games that I played with my teammates. You could kind of understand what this grind is, or was about, and I wouldn't necessarily say it was bad, but then again it was very gratifying at the end of it. Of course, I'm not on the leaderboard anymore, but yeah, getting to top 5,000 was definitely one heck of a ride. And yeah, so thinking back on it, I have some things that you would probably benefit if you're planning to grind on this, or if you are planning to grind on this next season, which I think people find it easier to grind off the start with everyone else. I did it quite late. I was like 4,000 points away from the top 5k, which is a huge amount for you to grind. I was at like 8,000 points, and then when I did finish it, the top 5k was at about 12,100 points. And yeah, so just letting you know, it took me about 72 hours. Within those 72 hours, I probably slept about 12, no, probably around 10 to 8 hours in total. That takes a lot out of you as a player, but also obviously as a human. But as a player, it does take a huge toll too. So if you could take rests and afford to take rests because you're closer to the points than me, than I was, then I really do highly advise you to take that rest, because it's very much needed. And to be honest, if you're like only about 500, 1,000 close, you can do it within like 5 days, I think, easy. But the grind there is definitely one to remember. And I'll be honest, I played LMG. I never played LMG in my life, but the HOLGER, I played initially with few guns, and they were like a hit or miss, but the HOLGER was extremely consistent when it came to kills and holding off points. And I would highly suggest you that if you can find teammates, at least one more to play with you, that's hardcore OBJ oriented, you are going to be that much more rewarded by that, because doing it alone, you are counting on randoms to play point, which doesn't really happen that often. I've met randoms. There was this one player called Omen that we played with, who was extremely good at the OBJ. He was doing his rotations and holding off the points. Extremely grateful. I played like probably 6 or 7 games with him after aiming up, and yeah, but all in all, your randoms, they're not gonna play OBJ as much as you think, but they are also not gonna be as good of slayers that you want them to be. And yeah, if you just have this other person, if you have your friend helping you out in OBJ, you can kind of focus on getting kills, or also holding OBJ on your end, which I tended, which I tended, is that the word? Yeah, which I tended to do during the latter part of my grind, because OBJ earns you big points. Now it comes to which game mode you need to play, and for me, I found it easier to play SND alone, without the stress of respawns. But SND is a huge risk, man. I mean, the more you get closer to the points, the more sweatier the players that are going to be on the other end. And once you die in a round, that's it. You're literally counting on 4 other people that you don't even know to literally clutch it up, because you have no say in it. You're not. If you lose 3 rounds in a row, you're mentally drained already, and that's gonna be it. So I highly suggest that you play a lot of respawns to get there. Yes, sure, the points are lower than if you win SND, but also that also means you lose less points if you compared to SND when you lose it. Plus, you have a little bit more control on how the game goes, and that then brings me to the other one. I played with Percy on. I played with HOLGER and I played with Percy, and I had another teammate going Percy with me. I had a care package, a lightning strike, and a napalm. I had chopper gunner at first, but chopper gunners are very easy to shoot down nowadays, so I thought, okay, now napalm worked better. The other guy had care packages, a SAM turret just in case that enemy got that chopper gunner, which was really annoying to go. Like you if it was like a 138 to 138 and maybe a 120 game where you are 138 and enemy is 120 and they get the chopper gunner, they get a huge advantage, and that could just literally lead to a point where those, until you respawn, they could get like 10 points easy, and at that point it's really hard to come back from that. So he was running the care package, the SAM turret, and a cluster strike. Sometimes a Goliath, but then again, you know, cluster strike is really helps to keep enemies away from the point, especially. So those are the perks that we ran. Of course, with persistence, you cannot run hardline. So I ran Dauntless, which was extremely effective than Flak Jacket, because it literally meant that you could run through your own cryo bombs while the enemies are literally they're pooling, you know, trying to get into the point, but they can't because of the cryo bomb, which is the other secret that I had. I used Molotovs and cryo bombs. I did use trophies in some games, but some games I like towards the latter part I used cryo bombs and Molotovs. This was such a toxic grind, guys. I'm telling you, I am not ashamed of it, because you gotta do what you gotta do to get there. So basically that's kind of the entire loadout that I ran. Sometimes I did switch it up to the Krig, which was also very consistent in giving me kills, and but the Holger, when it came to everything in general, it was extremely good. I will be sharing my loadout with you in this video, just what I used. Maybe you guys will think the same thing of it, but yeah, the latest Holger, the one that came in the Halloween draw, is extremely good. I don't know why, but it seems less bulkier, it takes up less of your screen. But in terms of what I was running, that was basically it. There were times like I think I lost about 4 games back to back in Hardpoint, and what I did was I went to Team Deathmatch. I just played a different game mode. You know, it helped me. I don't know, if I cannot remember if I lost it or won it, but it really helped me just keep my head going, because, and I highly suggest that you have a wash in between. Have wash, feel refreshed, eat something. Don't over caffeinate yourself, because that, when the caffeine wears off, it's just horrible, you know, and you don't feel like grinding. Sleep, you know, sleep. Take a nap at least, if you really are hard focused on getting to that goal ASAP. At least nap. And really notice that people who are playing with you are your teammates, and they are actually, for me, I had teammates like Fox, Yakuza, Zan, James, Angel, really like trying to help me out, trying to help me get those wins, you know, driving me towards those wins, doing their best as much as possible. So I always had it in my mind that you know, a loss is not a failure on their end. It was either a failure on as a team, like as a team the other guys were just better, or just me, you know, I was just not focused enough. I was not helping the games as much as I should have, because at the end of the day, it's my grind. They're just there to help out. It's not their grind, and they're not responsible for whatever outcome that happens within the game. Which brings me to the other point, the opponents. Now this is a very tricky thing to kind of handle, because your opponents are also there to win games, dude. They're not there to lose. They don't owe you a match. They don't. They're random people out there doing the same grind as much as you are. If they had the opportunity to get to top 5,000, they're gonna try and win that game. Maybe they're 2 games off, maybe they're 3 games off winning. They're just gonna end up grinding the same way that you are, and they are gonna be hard focused on that win. If you're taking losses back to back, your focus is off. You need some rest. Get some rest, eat something, drink some water, you know. That's extremely important. Take a breather. It takes time. It just takes time. You need to grind. That's it. There's no shortcut to it. Of course, you can optimize your loadout, as I did, which was so toxic. I've not played like this in a very long time, with Percy, with Molotovs. Dude, I didn't even know how to use mollies properly. Yeah, like the throw distance of it. I didn't even know that, you know, like you need to like kind of like aim higher so that it goes a little bit further than normally. It's anyway. It is a grind. It's gonna take it out of you, and if you don't have what it takes to put in, you just don't simply deserve it. And nobody, not your opponents, not your teammates, of you wins. All right, it's up to you. You lose some, you make it up for it. You lose some, you make it up for it. You keep grinding. Okay, it is not at all impossible. I started much late into the season. I started with 4,000 points away, which for me was it's almost half of what it takes to get to legendary. That's a big point difference. So just know that on the other end of things, you get to keep a badge forever. It's going to show up in your profile, and until you are in top 5,000, it's going to have that glowing, sparkling little legendary badge. And if you do make it at top 5,000 towards the end of the season, you get a calling card. So there are benefits to doing it, and also it's a good grind. You know, you get to have a ton of fun memories, ton of fun things to talk about at the end of it. And yeah, so take it easy, enjoy the grind. If you are planning to grind right now or the next season, try to have a teammate, optimize your loadout, use the meta. Trust me, use the meta. You do not want to be experimenting in your games. No. A mistake that I made was I tried different guns every single game, almost every single game at the start of it, like for about 20 games. If you are constantly getting killed, play out of the map. But I'm pretty sure that's not the right word for it. But what I mean is, if you have an objective, go around it. Right? Do not rush to it just because you need points, unless you're like 138 or something and you really need to push the point. Don't do it, because it's really unnecessary. You have enough of time to catch up, but you need to get rid of everyone else holding that point until you can go to the point. Otherwise, your spawn is just gonna be wasted. You know, just for you to spend 3 seconds running, 5 seconds spawning back. That's not gonna work. So hope you have learned something in this video and from my grind, and at the end of it, it does really feel good that you're done with it. And yeah, take care of yourselves, stay safe. What you're about to see is how I was when I was done with the grind. Peace. This is at the end of all this. This is the face that's at the end of all this. Let me light. Yeah, man, that was a brutal 72 hours, man. Brutal. Fuck.